and that Jesus is soon going to return. Therefore, there's not going to be any more spiritual awakenings. And Herschel, with that attitude, how can revival come? You see, friends, we first got to get the mindset that God can and God will send revival. I believe that with all my heart, that God can, God will send revival if you and I come in expecting God to do something. When you walk through that door, you ought to come in with this attitude: I just can't wait to see what God does this morning. I'm expecting something. I'm expecting God to be here in such a way that when I go out of that door, the only explanation is God. It's not Brother Terry. It's not Brother Nathan. It's not Brother Robert. It's not Brother Herschel. It's not Brother Bill. It's not Brother Bob. It's not the Phillips family. It's God. Amen. God did it. I didn't do it. God did it. When we come to that frame of mind that we can have revival, then, my friend, we'll be started in the right direction. Oh, how the devil would love to hinder us, and that's the best hindrance he can, is to get you in that thought of mind that you can't have revival anymore. What can that little Bear Creek do in a city of Cookeville? I'll tell you what we can do. We can be the spark of one of the greatest spiritual awakenings that ever happened in Putnam County. Oh, listen, I can see it on the headlines of the Christian Herald. Little country church began revival, and great things are happening because God is welcomed into their midst. Hey, oh, I want to tell you something. When you get God in it, I tell you what, man has to get out of the way. When you get God in it, man has nothing to do with it. When you get God in it, I want to tell you, all the forces of hell have to leave. Satan has to go. When God gets in it, my friend, you and I have nothing to do with it, but we just obey the glory of God. When you get God in it, it's God's and nobody else's. That's the kind of revival I want. I want to see that kind of revival, folks, so we can see that kind of revival. I see that. Let's go have to go. I tell you what, the preacher's on the scene now. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out! I tell you what, we sit around as a garrison. That's why we're under attack. Satan's the defeated foe. Christ came to destroy the works of the enemy. And we sit around and we're being attacked by him. The greatest defense is a good offense. And we ought to have him on the run instead of us being on the run. Do you know that? That's why we're like we are. We're just sitting here all closed in, letting him do whatever he wants to us. When we ought to say, wait a minute, what are you doing here? You don't belong here. You ain't got no business fooling around with me. You better go talk to my Father. I belong to Jesus. I belong to him. Now if you're going to do something to me, you go talk to him. And then if he allows it, understand this, I'm still going to be the victor. I'm still going to win. like that, read Revelation chapter 20 to him. Show him where he's going. Amen? Oh, man, is he mad now? That's all right, let him get mad. I'd rather have the devil mad at me than glad with me. Amen. That's why when he revived, we got him glad with us. We've been programmed, we've been snapped in, we've been boxed in until we can't hardly say amen anymore. I love to see a revival come when God's people get freed up, where we're not ashamed anymore to let folks know, hey, I am a child of God. And I want to tell you something. I don't care what kind of law they pass. I'll still be the child of God. Amen. Because they can't take him out of my heart. Glory. Amen. Amen. They can't take him out of my heart. Oh, listen, my friend. Faith is the victor, and the devil will flee when he's resisted. He says, resist the devil, and he'll flee from you. Draw nigh unto God, and he'll draw nigh unto you. You see, one of the reasons we're not having revival is we're not expecting revival. Then some say that, well, we can't have revival because revival is like a thunderstorm. It just happens. I had a man in one of my churches, he's a dear saint of God, but he said, you know, Brother Terry, he said, if we're to have revival, it comes in cycles. And, you know, every so many years we'll have a revival. We'll have meetings, but every so many years we'll really have a revival. It just comes in cycles. It comes like a thunderstorm. Well, let me tell you something. God is sovereign. Now understand it. God's sovereign, and God sends the revival. But I want to tell you, if we meet certain criteria, God will send revival. It's just like a thunderstorm. If certain criteria in the sky is met, you're going to have a thunderstorm. That's why they can look at that Doppler radio and Doppler satellite and they'll say, well, here the conditions are right for a severe thunderstorm. And then all of a sudden, bang, outside. Woke up somebody that time. You hear the lightning. But God said, if you heard the radio program, you heard me quote this verse. God said, if my people, are you God's people? Amen. Are you God's people? Amen. Yes. All right, he said, if my people, which are called by my name, shall humble. Whoa, wait a minute, preacher. I'm all right just like I am. What? You are? What are you doing here? Amen. What are you doing here then if you are like just like you are? God's got you here for reasons. Amen. Amen. He's got you here for a reason. And that reason is we need revival. We need revival. But when the conditions are right, if my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves. You know what humble themselves means? It means we bow before God. Well, you say, well, preacher, you know, I don't want to lose face.